So you're gonna sell that one?
I wanted to focus on the belt tone at the beginning and then the transition to the
custom horn
section.
because this, I mean, it's like a custom horn company, but the horn I'm getting is not.
It's just one of their stock ones.
Is that a 3B?
This is a 2B.
2B.
Yeah.
Is the R100 like the same size as that?
It's slightly bigger, but it's the same size. Yeah, well, this is a 7 3/8 bell. The R100 is a 7.5 bell, and like the bore on this is 491. The bore on the other one is 500. So it's like ever so slightly bigger.
Do you know Rick Summerly
Alright,
Grant?
does everybody
Yeah.
have
You should
in
talk to
praise
him. I
of
know he
Keeping
plays
Pioneers
around.
out?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I've talked to him about it. He really likes it.
I've never played one. I've been told they're great
I want to
ones.
start at the beginning. We want to start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. Really make sure that you're doing these bell tones and get out of the way when you're sustaining, so that way we can hear all the different entrances on every beat. Let's see. Alex and Andres, you guys will be beat one, so make sure you're really confident because that's going to be how we start the piece off. If you have on beat 2, if your moves are on beat 2, it looks like clarinets, altos, sax 1 for the very first entrance. You're kind of getting lost a little bit. Yes, Brandon?
I have this weird written out part that no one else has that has me playing that bassoon part, but I assume since
It might be the tenor sax part.
Or well, I think it's
The
same
upbeat?
thing. No, it's not the upbeat. It's
It's
just
not
the
the upbeat.
downbeats. So I think it's just the same thing as the bassoon part. So
Yeah.
do you want me to play it or not? 'Cause
Sure. Otherwise, you won't come in for a while, so I do apologize about that, Lowgrass. So go ahead and play that. Great. If you want to play that too.
Yeah.
They'll keep out of trouble.
That's like an opera rest right here. It's like 100 metric.
So if you come in on beat 2, if you can bring that out more. It looks like clarinet 2 most frequently. So which one of you's playing clarinet 2? You both are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Erin has the clarinet 3 part.
That's cool. That's totally fine. If you can just really bring that out a little bit more, be almost verging on a little bit too much, and I'll let you know if I need less from that.
Who needs it?
If we need less from that.
Do you want it accented or just stronger or?
Stronger, not quite accented.
Okay.
Alright, let's start back at the beginning.
Your verbal comments are very good. Try to say more with less words. And whenever you're addressing them, try to address them, not address the score. And that takes practice. Because when you're looking at the score, you want to be talking to them, but you're really talking to the score.
Yeah.
So look, talk, know what you want to say. Everything you do should be personal.
Okay.
Okay? Good, keep going. you to think too much. I want you to really listen. You're doing very well. Your cues are reflecting time
Yeah.
instead of mood. Okay? And the other thing I wanted you to think about is try to engage the face a little bit more.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
such an expressive face. Okay?
Okay.
Continue.
If we can back up to if
We can.
okay, let's back up to rehearsal, or rather move forward to rehearsal 77. I was just backing up in my score. Let's go to rehearsal 77. Make sure that at 85 you get your eyes up, because there's not really a transition. It's just immediately a little bit quicker. So make sure that you look up so we can all be together when we enter there. So at 77.
Even feet.
Some people aren't watching me, so we're not all together, and I'm moving a little bit more quickly than some of the members of the ensemble. So let's go 2 measures before 85, and make sure you're getting your eyes up for that.
Good. Good comments. You used fewer words. That was good. You spoke to them. You didn't speak to the score. So where are you improving that? Instead of telling them what you're going to do, tell them you're going to do something.
Okay.
Entice them. Inspire them to want to watch.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay, I really appreciated you guys' eye contact right there. There was the slowdown, and then with the pauses too. I'm sorry about the second one, that was on me. Do we have any questions about the style for the hymn-like section? Because we're not all quite matching there.
Say what you want.
Oh, I don't really like singing. Oh.
Do it anyway.
Oh. I don't like to sing. And I know that means I should do it.
Scooby-Doo.
Good. Now the articulation that you used, I totally agree with. I think that's really smart. You're using a da tone, and that'll help everything be very legato, which is what you want. Okay? And use vibrato, which is very nice. Okay, let's hear everybody then.
Right on rehearsal 85.
Do you notice that because you demonstrated beautifully, now they're playing the style that you wanted. You didn't have to explain it for a long time. We're using lots of words. You sang,
Yeah.
and now they're singing back to you through their instruments, and that's what you want. Okay. Unfortunately, we have to stop for time. Okay. Very good. You're very unique in the fact that you make incredible, meaningful change every time you're on the podium. You guys notice that? She comes up. She's a little antsy, but then you just go into that mode of rehearsal, and it's really nice to see. It's very good. It shows your maturity, which is very good. Comments, please.
Daniel?
Like Dr. Ross was saying with your facial expressions, you know your score very well, and you know where each section comes in. For example, with the flute at the beginning, with the flute solo, you gave her the cue, but you kind of showed when it happened instead of how you wanted it to sound.
Yeah.
I mean, you gave the cue, but doing isn't really going to be as effective as if you were to add in facial expressions. Also, whenever you're in the moment with that person, don't lose the eye contact with them. I noticed that whenever you gave the cue, you would kind of look away and look around. So that's just you thinking about what's happening next. But overall, very good job. And I mean, you're very musical. And so just add that through your conducting. It'd be wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Darby?
At the beginning, the people who come in on two, I'm one of those. I wasn't getting lost, but I needed like. I guess I felt kind of weird playing it, and you were paying most attention to the people who were coming in on one. So I think we would sound less like we were getting lost if you like. I don't know, gave us like a what do you call it? A look of.
Look of expectation?
Will.
Impulsive will?
Oh,
Yeah,
impulsive will.
yeah. And I don't know, just like kind of made us bring out that hairpin that we have.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll just make us play more confident.
Okay, thank you.
One thing kind of going off of what Daniel said is like flute players have a tendency not to like look up very much just because it is really awkward to be out
Yeah.
here and then you have to like lift your head up. But we're really aware of like when eyes are on us, which is something really weird to think about. So like kind of going off of what he said, if you remain the eye contact even if like we aren't looking at you, it gives like that little bit of like, okay, they're still with us. We still know exactly what they want because we can see like your hands.
Okay.
And so it's like we're still aware of what you want, but we don't always look up just because it's a little awkward.
Okay.
I'd like to go back to what Marty said, which is really astute, because you have a strong impulsive will. She just shows it in a different way. It's a very calm, reassuring impulsive will. It's very mature. It's what I was trying to articulate before. It's not over the top. It's not abrasive. It's calming, but it's there. You guys feel that? And that will serve you very, very well. You guys have any comments, please?
Erin, watch your left-hand position. You did a lot of conducting like this.
Yeah.
Henry, you're on deck.
And just be aware of that. I would say most of the time you want to keep your palm down, and that way when you do that, it means something. Secondly, and we've kind of covered this, just give us more of what you want through your conducting rather than your words. A lot of mirror conducting. Use that left hand to your advantage. This hand's doing this, and even it doesn't have to do that all the time. But use this for other things. The ensemble will watch you if you give them something to watch. And it's not that you're not a beautiful woman standing on the podium for them to look at, but most of the time, this is what it was.
Yeah.
Therefore, there was nothing to watch. They've got the time. They don't need you for that. Once you go fire the pistol, they're off to the races. Going back to what Dr. Ross was talking about with your presence, that's excellent. You have such a command presence on the podium. The thing that you have to be careful of is you've got to turn on your emotional presence once you start conducting. It's okay to be in charge. Believe me, I the Marine Corps taught me that. I love a person that will take charge. But with musicians, you really have to open your heart up to them. And my feeling from just standing back here watching was you kind of had your sleeves rolled up, and this was a make sure that all the notes are right rehearsal rather than a make music rehearsal. And it has to be both all the time. And we all struggle with that, but it's just something to work on.
Thank you.
Renee?
Another little saying I learned a long time ago that I keep coming back to, and it's something that all of us can think about in terms of what it all means. Jorge Mester used to teach conducting at Juilliard, and he did a video once describing what he does. He described the art of conducting as, and listen to these words carefully because every word's important, the transmission of musical impulse through gesture. Kind of a short, concise definition, but if you think about those three elements, transmission, is transmission taking place, and how does it take place? Musical impulse. What is musical impulse? Well, that's for each of us to discover. Through gesture. How do I conceive of my vocabulary of gesture? And as people were describing, we tend to think initially how we use our arms, our hands, but as we're doing this, That's a gesture, looking and nodding or just reacting facially to something. Like she was saying, you're aware when the eyes are there, right? So something you can think about, everybody can think about, what does Jorge Nestor mean in a deeper level when he says that? And I think all of us can learn a lot from that.
Thank you for that. Nice job. Thank you.